Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, kids, coffee. Lots of coffee, lots of snacks, lots of everything. Matter of fact, I need more coffee. All right, listen. What I have discovered, what I have dug out is just the tip of the iceberg. But this needs to be shared far and wide. I don't care how you do it, but you need to do it. This has to do with the CEO. It has to do with Luigi Mangione. It has to do with United Healthcare. And it has to deal with the dirt that I have dug up. Now, this first amount of information that I'm going to share with you comes from a woman that directly worked for United Healthcare, CEO Brian Thompson, and the Medicare department at United Healthcare for about 10 years. She compiled a list of the top 5 wildest things that she saw working at United Healthcare. This right here is a perfect example of how American healthcare companies really operate. Okay, this is a rare inside look at the industry.
I worked for Brian Thompson in the Medicare department at United Healthcare for almost 10 years, and I've compiled a list of just the top 5 wildest things that I experienced while working there, things they do not want y'all to know about. Let's start off strong with number 1. They terminated a guy on my team. The next morning, he snapped and unalived two news anchors on air and then was neutralized about 3 minutes from our call center because he was coming to finish us off. And United Healthcare did not increase security, police presence, offer us any resources. All they did was pull us into a meeting to threaten us that if we spoke to the media that we would have be terminated and possibly face legal ramifications, kind of like they did with the CEO. They went right on with their meeting. No empathy, no compassion, no nothing. The next thing, they do not take women's safety seriously at all. I was actually harassed by my trainer, right? I reported it and I began getting retaliated against like there was no tomorrow. And you know what they did? They didn't suspend him. They didn't terminate him, even though that's how he lost his last job as a corrections officer for doing the same thing. No, they blocked him from emailing me and said that he would stay on his side of the floor, which by the way did not happen. And then he was given a raise and a promotion. Yes, baby, they are not equal at all. And God forbid, they take the person's side and they take the man's side. That is it. Okay, nothing less, nothing more. The next thing, there was a guy who had been drinking all day. He was a member. He'd been drinking all day and was requesting female people. He kept getting me, then he kept requesting me when he called back, and he was describing in great detail how he was going to grape me, how he knew where I was working, went on into so many other things, and I'm a survivor, and it was visibly upsetting me. My boss made me stay on the call to get as much information as possible so they could terminate his benefits and report it to the authorities. Did any of that happen? Absolutely not. And when I finally disconnected the call, which I got in trouble for, by the way, they let me have three or 4 minutes to go get some water to calm down, because apparently water fixes the entire situation. The next thing, the rug dealing was out of control. My boss, my manager, the amount of people. I walked in on one person in the bathroom. There was one girl that was so out of her mind. She's tried to steal, she did steal someone's truck and then tried to mow down people standing out back smoking, which by the way, we went out back to smoke because they were so kind for this. So we used to have to go completely across the highway, and our call center is next to this trap hotel, right? The ambulance and police were there all the time. Well, there was a few women that were across the road smoking, and then this van pulled up and shoved 2 women into it and made it somewhat down the road, and somehow they were able to get out. Did they call the police? Did they do anything about it? Absolutely not. You know what they did? They just moved moved our smoking section to the back of the building where all of the unhoused community would come out of the woodwork literally and harass us and everything else. Like, it was such a bad situation. That leads me to my next thing. They did not want us helping or going above or beyond at all. We were trained to answer only the question that was asked and nothing more. There was a man, I used to get calls like this all the time, but this one was really rough. But this man called me with Lou Gehrig's, just beyond devastated because he could not afford it. The doctor was adamant on him needing the name brand because, again, kickbacks. For the people that think that doctors don't get kickbacks, you'll figure it out one day. But the guy was like, I cannot afford this. We ended up finding him an alternative. It was like $20, XYZ. I got in so much trouble for this. The man sent me flowers to thank me. I got in so much trouble for this that I was taken off of all of my special projects, the escalation line, everything, because I went against my training and helped this man. The next thing and the final thing, my ex was my ex, he was my boss, but we began a relationship and he was very abusive to me, on top of the fact that I found out he was sleeping with half the team and married to one of them. But that's a story for a different day. And when I finally went forward about that, they did not have my back at all. They had his completely because he was the boss and a man, right? And they started watching every little thing I did. Actually, my manager got one of my teammates to start monitoring every time I came to work, every time I left, my lunch, and if I was even a fraction of a second late, they gave me a half of an occurrence because they were trying to get me out the door because for attendance or whatever reason they could, because they wanted to keep their precious manager who was rug dealing to employees and sleeping with them. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Don't even get me started on all the ways they would beat the regulations and screw people over and everything else. Like, and on top of that, just an honorable mention, I would dare to say that 95% of the employees were either on rugs or on anti-anxiety and antidepressants, because that job drove us that crazy. Like, I cannot wait till the stories come out about this company, because it is far more than just your run-of-the-mill insurance schemes.
Now, someone, I don't know who, I'm not going to say I know, no, I don't know who, has started putting up wanted posters for health insurance company CEOs in New York City. And the wanted poster for Brian Thompson has been marked off as completed.
Do you see this? Do you see this? Deny, defend, oppose at the bottom of it?
Now, this next bit of information took some digging, but I found it, okay? And Brian Thompson, he had close ties to Pelosi, who helped him get huge government grants. He was also under DOJ investigation. Was he about to take a plea deal? Was he about to reveal all about congressional favors that gained them their monopoly? Okay. How much did Pelosi profit off of her relationship with Brian Thompson? Did she benefit financially from his demise? Someone needs to investigate her, all right? Because not even 24 hours after his passing, the company, United Healthcare, advertised a new job posting for his replacement. This is the total definition of take care of yourself, because that job will replace you no matter what. I mean, also, if this does not scream that this man's demise was planned at all, I mean, I don't know what else does. I don't know what else screams that this was planned. Now, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to repeat it until I don't know what. This kid, well, he's not a kid, he's 26, but Luigi Mangione, he's a patsy, okay? No person who would do something like this would keep the weapon on him, or be caught carrying a manifesto, which I have the alleged manifesto, by the way. I mean, this smells like a setup. We knew about the manifesto almost immediately, okay, when the psycho who shot up a Christian school in Nashville also had a manifesto, but yet we have yet to see it. Somebody want to explain to me why? Huh? So here, I'm going to read to you the alleged manifesto, okay? And this is the alleged manifesto. I'm not saying that it actually is, but this is what my digging has brought me to. And it says, to the feds, I will keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I was not working with anyone. This was fairly trivial. Some elementary social engineering, basic CAD or CAD, you could say. A lot of patience. The spiral notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do list that illuminate the gist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for the strife of traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. A reminder, the U.S. has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. United, meaning the healthcare company, is the, and then when I was reading it, it said indecipherable. So whoever found this manifesto could not read his handwriting, I'm guessing, so it says indecipherable. Largest company in the US by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, and Walmart. It has grown and grown, but has our life expectancy? No. The reality is these, and then it says indecipherable again, have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have illuminated the corruption and greed, e.g. Rosenthal and more, decades ago, and the problems still simply remain. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. Again, unless I can do, like, have I seen the actual notebook with the actual handwriting? No. You know, so I could sit there and look at his handwriting and then look at the manifesto's handwriting and make an analysis, like, you know, a comparable, analysis. No. So I have not been able to see that. This was taken from the intranet. Many different people have said this is his alleged manifesto, so that's why I brought this to you. But if I happen to find the actual, and they said this is the actual manifesto, then I will say, okay, well, this is the actual, but this is the alleged, okay? This kid comes from one of the wealthiest families in Maryland, okay? He doesn't need health care, okay? Does he suffer from back pain? Did he have back surgery? Does he have screws and stuff like that in his spine? Yes, he does. And I believe it was from a surfing incident or something like that. This kid doesn't need to worry about health care, okay? He could pay cash. So for him to have to worry about CEOs and this, that, and the other, and the healthcare system and whatnot, I just don't see one of the wealthiest kids in the world having to worry about things like that. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, I also saw different pictures. I saw his picture. I saw another picture of another guy that was apparently inside the McDonald's, and I saw his picture that was inside of another McDonald's or some other store, or whatever the case may be. They don't even look the same. So, it's like, to do side-by-side comparisons and this, that, and the other, it's kind of hard to do it, but I want to see the side-by-side so I can do a comparison on the handwriting. That's what I want to do. But if I ever get the chance, I will obviously bring it to you so you could do it along with me, okay? So hopefully I'll be able to get a chance to do that. But other than that, this is just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. But I wanted to bring this to you, this dirt that I have dug. And I'm going to continue to dig, because that's my favorite pastime besides reading. So, like I said, this is what I'm going to continue to do. If I find out anything more, I will let you guys know, okay? I will see you in the next one, all right? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less.